Today is one of my most amazing and favorite topic, and that is all about confidence. Because whatever I am today is because of that, and how to create an impact, how to create your presence that will create a huge impact on people. That's what we're going to talk about because we believe that it's so important. So, if you see tonight the live session, we will be delve into fascinating topic of confidence and making presence felt, especially in your crucial professional moment, such as high stake meetings, and also the most important place is interviews. How are you able to create that impact that people cannot resist but hiring you?
Yes. So, like Dheeraj just shared, confidence and making your presence felt has a very, very profound impact on your career trajectory. And why do I say that? It's because I believe that once you have around 15 plus years of your work life, your role is not about execution anymore. Your role becomes more about how can you drive business? How can you build loyalty in your employees?
Absolutely.
How can you build loyalty in your customers, your vendors, or in the market at large? Really depending on what position you are in your current career. So forming deep connections and building those relationships that foster and determine success in your career. If you're able to foster trust, people are there. When they are there, they deliver, and that's how you grow in your career, right?
So I want to ask people, do you know any such person, okay, who can get others to follow them with ease? Do you know any such people? They build their trust, just presence in the room. Okay, if people yes, so please write down yes.
I would really want to know.
I would really want to know. Or yes. Have you ever wondered, how can they do it? Did you ever wish to have the same impact on people? Please write down in the chat box. We would really love to know from all of you this, that do you know someone who creates that massive impact and you also desire to create that impact?
You have seen or experienced such leaders.
Absolutely.
That, it's not about their position, their authority, but you just want to follow them. And it's not only happening with you, that magic happens with everyone around.
Yep.
Because when this person walks into the room, his presence can be felt. All of a sudden, there is this assurance that now this person is there, I know things will get resolved.
Yep.
This person is there, I know we'll be able to maneuver through these tough times. Have you experienced such people in your life? Or have you been such a person in life? We would love to know from you.
So the fact remains that you are what you think. You become what you think. That's the foundation that we will begin from. So basically, what do you think about yourself? What is the conversation that you're having with your own self in your head? That's very important. Not the conversation that you speak to others, the conversation that you have with yourself, which is going in your head in a meeting. When there is a high-stake meeting or there is an interview, what are you telling yourself? In the toughest time or leading a project, what are you telling? What's the conversation going on? That's very important.
For example, it could be, I'm not a people's person, so probably I'll not be able to really create that impact.
Yeah.
Or I'm an introvert. People keep talking about networking, but I can't network well. It could be I'm not good enough in these kind of situations.
Yes.
I don't have probably these kind of abilities. The most important part, I don't think I have what it takes to deal with office politics.
So
I can't have, or I can't be a part to office politics. I can't handle toxic people. I can't speak in public. Do you resonate with any of these conversations that you have internally here in your mind? If you have these conversations, which are the ones which affect you more? Is there something else that goes into your mind beyond what I've just mentioned? Please share it in the comment section because it becomes very helpful for those who would join us later.
Absolutely.
And learn. There's something which I would like to share today. It's been a journey where we've been sharing, you've been hearing, you've been applying it in your lives. But when you come here and participate, and when you share, when you become vulnerable with your weaknesses, there's so much confidence that you build in people around you that it's not me alone going through this. Even this person went through this. And that's how we start building this beautiful community where you're helping each other grow. So I would really, once again, like to reiterate, it'll be great if you participate and you share whenever we are asking questions.
Yep.
That will not only help you so that we can understand you and reach out to you for help, but you can help others who probably would be going through the same situation.
So, the power of our thoughts is immense. What we think internally is eventually reflected externally. And that's what we attract from others. Confidence plays a pivotal role in this dynamic. A person who exudes confidence becomes a source of inspiration for their team. Their unwavering belief in themselves and their abilities instill a sense of assurance and trust in their colleagues, in their seniors, in their juniors, in their clients. And as a result, the team feels motivated and empowered to achieve their goals.
So once again, have you experienced such kind of leader in your entire career that you've been working? And how did you feel having this person around? Or how did you feel being around that person?
Absolutely.
It's something which we would love to know from you. And of course, on the other hand, a leader who lacks confidence, he finds it very challenging to make decisions. Their fear of taking ownership and responsibility holds them back.
Yes.
And that is why you'll find whenever you're going to them for decision, they're the first people who keep, it's like hide and seek. Whenever it comes to decision making, you will not find those people available there.
Yes.
But the minute the decision is done, that is where they'll be there all over the place saying, this is what I did. But try and understand, if you get agitated, no, that's not the way it works. It's
Very
because
true.
that person is fearful. They are fearful of taking the ownership. And what happens in the team? Fear permeates throughout their entire team.
Very true.
Doubt and hesitation replaces confidence. So like we just mentioned earlier, a person who's confident becomes a source of inspiration. Here, this leader becomes a source of fear in the team.
Absolutely correct.
Becomes a source of doubt and hesitation. And what is the end result? The end result is lack of direction for the team. And of course, the productivity goes down.
Very true.
Now, in between these two leaders, we all know that any and every organization will want to have the first kind of leader.
Very true.
Are you that kind of leader? Are you aspiring to be like the first one? Where are you struggling is what you need to sit and reflect. Of course, throughout the session, we'll keep giving you such pointers where you can think through, you can write, you can repeat this session later so that you're really working on this. Believe me, it's one of the most important aspects in your career.
Very true.
Therefore, the very first step towards creating a strong and powerful presence is to build an unshakable conviction within your own life. Let's talk about the first trait, which we spoke about, that confidence. Now, believe me, in this entire years of life that I've experienced, I've never ever met a person more confident of him than my own husband. So today I would like to invite him as a speaker coming here to share on where does this confidence come from? How do you really get this conviction? Because I've never ever seen him hesitate. I've never ever seen him doubting himself. I don't know where does he get it from.
No. So it's very simple. It starts from believing. Okay. So for me, it's all about if somebody has done something, I believe that God created us the same. We all have the same potential, the same power to go and achieve, to become what you want to become. So in my life, whenever I've seen someone doing something, let it be in the time of sports when I used to run 50 meters, 100 meters. So I saw someone doing it that much a second. And I realized that if this person can do, so can I. And that belief system, that confidence that everybody has the same potential and the power God gave us same. One thing that God gave us all of the same is the potential. And with that belief, I started struggling and I could make it achieve. So first thing for me is always believing in potential of myself from seeing others achieving and becoming. That's number one. Number two is determination. So the moment I decided that I'm going to become this person or I'm going to achieve this in my life, it was backed up with a strong determination to not give up no matter what happens. Because the fact remains, like when we started portfolio business, I've told this earlier also, I was very clear that I'm going to be a number one consultant in this country, in this industry that I'm belonging to, especially in insurance when I started selling insurance. And I remember the number one guy who was there. And first year really I beat him. How did I do that? Is when I started, I came in a new city, nobody knew me. Every single day I used to do 8 calls. 8 months I did it, which means 1,600 rejections were there every day. And after 1600 rejections, that was one guy who said a yes and we could change everything for himself. But every single day, I used to go with that same confidence because I knew somebody has done it. So can I also achieve that kind of business? I can also become that kind of person. So backed up with, that determination of never giving up. And the third thing, confidence comes from practicing. Confidence comes from doing something, exerting yourself every single day. So no matter what, even if I have decided to like 8 calls every day, practicing running every day, practicing carom, like, when I started. So I've been a state champion for 3 to 4 years in carom. But what did I learn from when I used to see those players? I was just an immature carom player. But when I saw a guy, when he did start to finish in carom, I said, this guy can do it. I also can do it. So I told my friend, no, one day I'm going to be a state champion. I said, Teru carom kidhar aata hai? He said, how does it matter? Isne kiya to main bhi kar sakta hu. And that's actually I started practicing every single day, exerting every single day. And for consecutive 3-4 years, I was the state champion. So that is how you build confidence. For me, that's how confidence comes. Believing in potential of human. Determination backed up and not to give up no matter what. And third thing is exerting myself and practicing it every single day.
So guys, you get to know now that confidence is not just something you have.
Yep.
It is something you can create.
Very true.
It is a sense of certainty and belief. It's a feeling that you can accomplish anything that comes your way. And of course, it's a state of mind. So like I told you earlier, 1 year we kept doing sessions on strategies externally, what you can do. Now we are focusing on the mindset. How can you make those internal changes?
Yes.
To grow in your career, to grow in your life, and really live the life that you desire and deserve. So when you radiate this kind of confidence, you start creating a positive impact on everyone around you. Your strong presence becomes a magnet that draws people towards you. I was driven towards him only because of that conviction and confidence that he had in life. Additionally, confidence helps in fostering meaningful and robust relationships.
Yes.
When you believe in yourself, others are most likely to believe in you as well. And that is how trust is built. That is how collaborations become more fruitful. And don't you believe today is a time of collaboration?
Absolutely right.
You can be that first person to make it happen. By leading with confidence, you establish a strong foundation for open communication, because a strong, positive leader can help the team coming and reaching out and sharing what they are going through. And collaboration and teamwork happens. Now tell me, frankly, I want each one of you to respond to this question. If you have such qualities in you as a person, as a leader, do you think anyone on this earth, हम लोग हिंदी में मूवी स्टाइल बोले तो कोई माई की लाल में कोई वो दम है that they can remove you from your job or stop you progressing from your career?
Absolutely.
So guys, it's that you build, when you build yourself block by block, and these are the blocks that we'll keep coming and sharing in each session. When you build yourself block by block, there is no one on this earth who will want to remove you. In fact, there'll be so many around you who will want you to be there, and that's how you start acing in your career.
Very true. Confidence basically leads to improvement across all area of life. Okay, like better job opportunities, promotion, good amount of money, and also it also helps for parents to have a strain, amazing parenting skills, deeper connection with bond with others. Now the question is how? Now we've spoken about confidence. Now let's come to the second topic. How do you build your presence in the room? That's one person that I know is my own wife. That that she was a person as a child that I know her. Let me tell you the little background about her. She grew in an environment that she was the last person to be noticed in the room. Her existence itself. She never existed. Let it be in a classroom, let it be a social life, even in her own house. And then there was something happened. And I think she's the best person today. Her presence, I know, creates impact in thousands of people's lives. She would be the best person to spoke about creating that presence.
So I think if I remember correctly, it started for me with an intention of being some help to someone. So like Dheeraj mentioned, I really didn't exist. I passed through my 10th standard, but I don't think anyone in my class, a classroom of 60 students, ever knew I existed. My presence was not felt. My family, I was just not existing. But somewhere it started with an intention of being of some help to someone. Working hard to prove my existence matters to someone else. And that is where I started working on building the person who I am today. Of course, nothing has come easy. But this one question remained consistent in my life. And that was, how can I help someone? And that became the driving force of my life, to constantly learn, constantly improve, constantly work on myself so that I could help more and more people. So from how could I help someone, the question changed to how can I create impact in each and every person I meet.
Yes.
And from there, today it is about how can I leave a legacy behind. And probably that drives us to do these live sessions, because these will stay even when we don't exist. That's the reason I started writing book, because that's the way I will stay even when I don't exist. And it's going to reach out to people who really need, probably at that particular moment, my one line or one passage could help them break their shell or that low state that they're going through. It picks up their confidence, and it will be such an amazing thing I could do when I don't exist on this earth. And I think that's what books do to us, right?
Yes.
Or people who don't exist in the world, we look up to them and we believe that if they did it, we could do it. It's just about following them.
Very true.
What also has contributed towards creating my presence in the room is identifying me. Who am I? I believe I'm a fighter who fights in each and every situation. I feel that's in my hands. The results may not be in my hands, but fighting is definitely in my hands. And I fight every situation till I win over it. And when I do that, and I know it's possible, that's how I can impart that confidence in others. Continuously learning from people around me. So it started with that, right? When I identified some person, I said, wow, if he can do this, even I can do it. And that is how, from people around me, then reading those books, then today, fortunately, the YouTube, till finding my lifelong mentor whom I follow to grow spiritually, my professional mentor, Tony Robbins, my desire to become like them and create the same impact in others' life is the biggest drive in my life even today. And I think that's what happens when I walk into the room, when I step out in the workshop, from being an introvert to really copying his body language, the way he talks, the energy that he vibrates, almost everything, shadowing him. That today, when I stand in the workshop, I can create exactly the same impact what he does.
Absolutely.
Has been the driving force of my life. So this was about 2 live examples. Now let's really go into strategies.
I'm sure you will want to know, how do you develop this kind of confidence? Yes. How do you establish that commanding presence? So like everybody says that wherever you go, how do you have that command on people? And that could be people 1, 10, 100, thousands. And the biggest that we ever did was a workshop, I think, 25,000 people. They were sitting there for 3 hours without one person moving. We were able to command them also.
And the dais was so big.
Like we were looking like ants there. Such a huge dais. Now that is something. So it starts with first thing.
So it's a beautiful thing that you mentioned before we get into strategies. That's something which I can say that if you do all this, you can even stand out there.
Absolutely.
So all what I was practicing when I stood there, believe me, for a moment I was paralyzed. When I saw the huge crowd, just one person existing on such a dais, how will I speak? But all what I have been doing there, it took me a moment to remind myself who I am, what do I do, bring myself into that state, and then I could deliver.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing for us was that in one go, 25,000 people out there, we can create impact in their life. We can help them. We can add value to their life. We can change their life. That gave us that confidence, that, that inner desire to serve people, gave us that courage and, the level of strength that we were able to deliver there 3 hours non-stop without a single person getting up. So that is something I've seen her, as I said, that 25, like I to enjoy more the people I speak up. And for me, 1 lakh people also I speak up. But I could see her that she also gave beyond her expectations and people's, the audience expectation. Okay. So how do we do this? Step number 1, self-awareness. Please write down. Step number 1, self-awareness, which means Recognize your strengths, skills, and accomplishment. Understand the areas for you to improve and start working on improving yourself or developing the skills that are required. This self-awareness itself boosts your confidence. Many a time I've seen people living in an illusion without doing this kind of awareness of their own self, or rather, what is that right word? In self-inventory. It's important to do your own self-inventory to know who you are and what do you have and what you can achieve. So first is self-awareness.
So all this journey is all about that. Becoming aware of yourself.
Yes.
And working on improving yourself. And each time, each week, we'll be coming and sharing one single element of that side,
yeah.
right? So becoming self-aware. The second is about preparation. Thoroughly prepare for meetings and interviews by researching the topic, understanding the agenda, anticipating potential questions. The more prepared you are, the more confident you feel.
It's been more than a year now. I think almost 1 year, 3 months that we've been doing this. But believe me, before we come here speak for half an hour, we would have prepared ourselves for at least 3-4 hours.
Yes, absolutely.
To able to deliver this half an hour, both of us. And we've been doing this for years now. And I've been doing this for ages.
In fact, it's a free live session.
Yeah.
If we goof up, how does it matter? But the commitment that we have to impact people, that keeps us driven. So every Friday, I don't have sessions. He doesn't have sessions. We compromise on that because we want to give our best when we come here.
Yes.
And that is what you just cannot miss. Preparation is something that you cannot miss if you want to feel confident in whatever crowd that you're
whatever meeting, whatever sales presentation, whatever interview you are, if you prepare yourself, like we prepare our clients at least 15 times before they go and give an interview. That's the kind of preparation to do, because then you are ready to go out there. Otherwise, it's not possible. The third thing, positive self-talk. It's so crucial that you talk to yourself, those positive affirmations, and reminding yourself of your capabilities. Like, for example, there's an incantation that we do every day morning. All I need is within me now. That's so powerful. It has changed our life completely. So that positive self-talk, that all I need is within me now, or the courage, or the confidence, or the strength, or the power, or the energy. It's within me now. Now that creates a massive impact. Replace your negative thoughts with these empowering ones to cultivate a confident mindset.
Then it's about body language. Do you ever watch yourself in the mirror and see how you present yourself? It's so very important. Yeah. Confidence also comes by your physical postures.
Yes.
The way you use your hands, you use your facial expressions, the way you look at people, the way you give your handshake, all these gestures. Like when you're sitting in a meeting, does that convey assurance or it conveys fear? Does it convey your nervousness? There are people who are, if you look at them, they're constantly moving their feet. That shows either they are fearful, nervous, or they're probably very impatient.
Absolutely.
They're getting agitated with what's going on. So what is that I'm conveying? And believe me, the more you become aware of your body language, the more you'll be able to work on it. Somehow we never feel that it's important. We don't notice ourselves and we don't work on it. So this non-verbal communication also helps make your presence.
In fact,
felt.
67% of success of any interview, any presentation is what they see you in that first go. How have you entered? What's been your handshake? Where has been your eye contact? How are you been sitting? Are you using your hands or no? That is so important. That's body language. Fifth, active listening. This is so crucial. Engage yourself in active listening during the meetings of interview. I know so many people that they have asked questions and they've answered something else because they have not been listening to the question. They're so scared that they are not actively listening. Their mind is somewhere else. So active listening during meetings or interview, showing genuine interest in what the other person is saying. Ask thoughtful questions. Provide valuable contribution. This demonstrates your confidence and your involvement. Like, for example, your wife is saying, "How am I looking?" You say, "Great." You've not even seen her and you've said, "Great." Okay. Or, "Acha bola, maine kya bola?" And the wife has not said anything. And the person is always saying, "Ha, tumne ye bola, ye bola." And that's why she gets angry, because she feels you're not listening to me. So that is important in every area of life, active listening.
Then it's about continuous learning, investing in your professional development to enhance your skills, your knowledge, attending various kinds of workshops, seminars, pursuing relevant certifications. You're here live. That's one way you're investing in yourself.
Very true.
The more expertise you acquire, the more confident you become. It's a continuous, lifelong process.
And the last thing is seek feedback. Now that's very important. Request feedback from your colleagues, your mentors, your coaches, or supervisors. But constructive feedback that can help you identify areas for improvement. And when you improve on those areas, by default, you build your confidence in your abilities of doing what you have been doing.
Believe me, all these 7 points, we have been working on ourselves.
Yes.
Like for him, he's really worked on active listening. For me, probably I've worked on my body language, on my self-talk, because he's really been a very confident person. I have worked on that. Continuous learning is a part of both of our lives.
Absolutely. Like I never dreamt of myself reading so many books.
Absolutely.
Every year I read around 125 to 150 books.
And that has developed us in a stage that whenever a client, a coach, a coachee, whenever we are in any kind of workshop, whenever there's a question, we always are having an answer. And if we don't have one, we are bold enough to say, I'll get back to you. So, being open and vulnerable is only possible when you're actively learning and you're confident about yourself.
Absolutely
now,
right.
Creating your presence begins with you becoming aware of what type of presence you want to create, right? Like, I want to be seen as this kind of person. And then really seeing how are other people perceiving you. Like sometimes we feel that I'm a very confident, dashing, great personality. Others are not perceiving you that way. What is the gap? And then trying and working to fulfill it.
Yeah, what she's trying to say is many a time we have an illusion about ourselves that I'm so great. So there's a client of mine said, I'm so great, I can do this, I can do that. I said, go out and do it. And when he actually went, he realized that nobody's buying his story. Nobody's buying him at all. Whatever that people are buying is X amount of position in a great company. That's what people are buying. Individually, nobody's buying him. And that's where he realized there's so much I need to learn, develop, and improve. So that's why it's important.
Once you're confident about yourself and what you can bring to the table, then it's about starting to ask yourself this question. How can I add value in this meeting?
Yes.
How can I add value in this person whom I'm interacting with? Whether it's your junior, whether it's your colleague, whether it's a senior. What is that you can do to help this person grow in his career? How can you provide solution to your team?
Yes.
Are you really taking ownership of the project or the target that is given to your team? What can you do to help them achieve these targets? When you start asking these questions to yourself and start taking actions, you become a person whom others can trust and they would want you to lead them. This is how you can start building your presence. I truly believe that true confidence and ability to bring your presence. These are two aspects which can either become a biggest hurdle.
Absolutely right.
Would be probably the biggest hurdle in your life in growing in your career, or it can become a stepping stone to help you climb the corporate ladder and ace your career. So work on the strategies that we've just shared, and I promise you, you will grow exponentially